Welcome to the Milk and Cookies podcast. This is a super amazing podcast. It has absolutely everything to do with American football and absolutely nothing to do with milk and cookies. My name is Alex. I am joined today with Leon. Anthony is not here. He's fine. He wanted to make sure that he's not dead. He'll be back later. But for today, it's just going to be me and Leon. So let's get right into the news. So, super gigantic news as of Friday. The Miami Dolphins proved honestly, they made probably one of the biggest blockbuster trades of all time, at least draft-wise. Dolphins go from 3, trade for San Francisco to 12, and then back up to the Eagles with 6. So, Leon, what does this mean for the draft now? Now that San Francisco's at 3, the Dolphins are at 6, and the 49ers are no. San Francisco's at 3, Dolphins, then Eagles. Yeah, okay, so I was right. So what does that mean for the draft now?
That means we can get the guy who we want. We want at least 2 people, I know for sure. But they're going to be available at 6. And we knew we could get a little extra, some first-round picks for the next years if we trade that up to a team who really wants to pick and really wants another player. Do I think the 49ers are going for what we want? No. But I think they needed that 3 pick more than us. So being at number 6 gives us time to see who the other teams pick, and we're still up at the top. So we got it good, man.
Oh, yeah. This is probably one of the very few trades that I could say that everybody won. Since San Francisco got plunged up to 3, they can get their next franchise quarterback. The Dolphins are at 6. They can sit comfortably and still get an elite person. And the Eagles are probably in one of the best future senses out of the 3 teams. The Eagles went down to 12. They took the Dolphins pick of 2022. And then the Carson Wentz trade could turn into a first-round pick for next year as well, depending on how well he does. So the Eagles, for the future-wise, I'll say this: the Eagles have done pretty well trying to cement their future. So, yeah, I mean, from San Francisco's at number 3, they're pretty much going to take Fields. It's pretty much guaranteed. The Dolphins are at 6. It could be anywhere between Pitts, Chase, Smith, Waddle, anybody, even Sewell if he's still available. And the Eagles at 12, honestly, there's still a lot of good players at 12 that are easily deserving of it. So are we going to see a quarterback run now? Because now that if we're pretty sure that the first 4 picks are almost going to be quarterbacks, does this mean that there's going to be a QB run?
Yeah, and there's going to be a QB run. I mean, I watched Zach Wilson's pro day. He was unbelievable, and I think he can go top 5 also still. So
really,
there will be a QB run. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about Zach Wilson?
I don't know, man. I just don't see him performing at an elite level. I don't see him gaining the same excitement that people had about like Darnold back in 2018. He's just Wilson to me. He's a decent player, but I don't think he's deserving of the number 2. He resembles, he resembles a lot of Mitchell Trubisky to me. A lot of hype, taken at number 2, but it's just not going to work out.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Mitchell Trubisky, actually, the Bears organization is honestly falling apart, in my opinion. The Chicago Bears have had many questionable decisions in the past week and a half. Having Mitch walk wasn't really that big of a deal. It was pretty obvious, 4 years playing with the same team kind of underperformed. Yeah, get rid of him. Franchise tagging a player that doesn't want to be there, Allen Robinson. It makes no sense. They're keeping him there just to sit on the sidelines. Then they released Kyle Fuller, probably one of the a top 10 cornerback in the league right now, still in my opinion. The Broncos actually picked him up 34 minutes after he got released. Eddie Jackson is confused about the team, doesn't know what's going to happen. Is this the downfall of the Chicago Bears?
Yes, it starts with the QB, and with the QB they decided to go with, I feel like it's a downfall, but I feel like they're trying to, if it works, it works. So if they get lucky and he comes out, firing on all cylinders, whatever, they're going to just get lucky for that season. Does he stay for another season? I don't think so. The Bears are just filling in for this season. I don't think they even really care about this season, if you ask me. So it's a downfall for this year, yes.
Yeah, it's signing Dalton to a 1-year deal. He's a placeholder quarterback, so it makes sense. But it's like, do they really see that they can get their franchise quarterback next year or something else? I mean, they had their chance to trade for Watson. They had the chance to trade for Wilson. They didn't do it, and they signed Dalton. The team is pretty stacked, honestly, and if they really put effort into it, they could be a deep playoff run. It's just I don't understand why they're throwing out this year because now you have a defense that's still top 10, maybe even top 5. The offense isn't awful if you just get the right quarterback. So now it's just trying to figure out like, is the quarterback the only problem? And a lot of these players are probably going to get discouraged and want to leave. So the Bears are in a position that I don't really think is all that good. I will place them dead last in the NFC North.
I
Even
agree.
though I say the Lions will do better than them.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Josh Gordon wants to come back now. And the guy that's been suspended, I don't know, probably more times than I can count on my hand. Played for the Browns when he was drafted, then went to Seattle, and then went to the Patriots. 2019. Been suspended multiple times, everything. Now he wants to come back, saying that he's still ready to play. Is he ready to come back, or is this going to be like another 5-game stretch and then he's going to be suspended?
It's like he does every year. He says he's clean, he's ready to come back. As soon as he gets in the league, he's doing the same thing over and over. Like he had his 3 strikes. If you're asking me, I don't think Josh Gordon comes back. I don't know. I can't. He just blew it too many times, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of I don't know. It's not that he's like a bad receiver. Like he's a pretty serviceable one. You can put him at wide receiver 3 and he can perform, but it's just like the off-season problems and the fact that been suspended multiple times. It's just if he does come back, it's probably going to be for like half the season. Then he's just going to get suspended again. So I don't know. Hopefully, he's just not going to be a Dolphin or something. Um, let's translate the last segment into remaining free agents that are still available that haven't been picked up yet. There's still quite a few notable free agents that haven't been signed yet. One of them is Richard Sherman, former Pittsburgh running back James Conner. I think Jadeveon Clowney is still not signed as well.
Yeah.
Now, the free agency window is pretty much over. It's been a week and a half since free agency opened up, and a lot of players have already signed. Teams desperate for team needs. So these guys are kind of like stretching for a contract. Now, are any of those 3, or is there anybody else that you see that might get signed before the draft, let's say? Or are they just going to go right into free agency and not get picked up before the regular season?
I see them going right into free agency. No, they will get picked up before regular season, but I just don't see it happening this week or the next week. Maybe like right before the draft. I say like the second week of April.
Yeah, I can see that. Now, tell me one thing, because the one player that everybody has an eye on, quote unquote, an eye on, but he always asks for like the stupidest price because he thinks he's worth it. Jadeveon Clowney, the first overall pick in 2014 that was drafted by the Texans. This guy has been bouncing off of teams lately, hasn't necessarily found anything longer than 1 year. I think his current contract, he's asking for about $12 million. Is he worth that price? And if he is, what team is going to want to sign him for $12 million?
Clowney is nice. He's a super athlete, freak athlete, but I don't think he's worth the 12. I think he should just simmer down a little bit and just take at least something under 8 mil, man. Or he won't be playing this season. He will, but he's going to have to take something less, and he'll find that out the hard way.
Yeah, I mean, he played. Well, remember, he got traded to Seattle a couple of years ago, and he did average, and then was signed with the Titans here in 2020. And I don't know what his numbers were, but I mean, they weren't flashy. I think they were just about 8, 9, maybe, which is still pretty good. But 12 million is way too much for a defensive end that is in his early 30s now.
Yeah.
He's just not worth it. Now, Richard Sherman is another cornerback that is available still. He's pretty decent one as well. Nice CB2 if available. What team is going to sign him, if any?
We're looking at, I think, a team that needs a veteran cornerback to teach up their rookies. For him, I can see him going like staying on the West Coast. What do you say, the Las Vegas Raiders?
Right, man, you go figure. Right when we need Anthony to tell him what the Raiders need right now. The Raiders might be a good idea. I don't necessarily think they have a strong cornerback grouping. Them or the Vikings. The Vikings are desperate for cornerbacks, but they already signed Patrick Peterson, so
Yeah.
sure may not be worth it. Yeah, I think maybe the Raiders would be the best choice. But yeah, I think that'll be it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. We will be getting a draft episode out very soon, and then Leon and I will do our Dolphins later on in the week. Again, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you like the content. Let us know what you want to see next, and we will see y'all real soon. Thank you.